out of the ring because it's time for some ringside rumors. 3 top rumors for you as always, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, we're just gonna... That was terrible. Let's jump straight into it. Our first top rumor, WWE claims the Chad Gable vs. Eric match was cut short on Raw this week to make room for a backstage segment with Finn Balor chatting with JD McDonough. And it was a Triple H call after Vince McMahon made the call to take it out previously. So this should really be the final nail in the coffin for all the rumors and stuff going around about how Vince is in charge and everything like that, and he's making like all these major changes and Triple H can't do anything about it and that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I love hearing about that. I love it, specifically with the whole Vince McMahon thing, trying to make changes, right? And saying like, oh, I don't want this and I want this to be switched out. And then Triple H just does a whole like, you know, 2-step around him and then just does it anyway. I really like that. I think the whole JD McDonough Finn Balor thing was actually really necessary because I don't know how long ago it was, but there was a rumor that JD McDonough was going to be joining the Judgment Day, so I'm happy to know that he made a good call to leave that in, you know, planting the seeds. And, you know, if you're observant, then, you know, JD joining them won't necessarily be something that, like, comes out of left field. So, for what it's worth, the match was really good, and I still liked everything that Alpha Academy did, so, you know, I'm not really, you know, too opposed to that decision being made. You know, they both, in a vacuum, they both did what they were supposed to do. So there's not really much I can say there's not too much I can say about it. Our next top rumor, early odds from BetOnline has LA Knight favored to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, but Damian Priest is also a dark horse contender. A lot of people are really happy at the fact that there are no former champions and no former Money in the Bank winners in the match. Everybody who's currently in the Money in the Bank match, it's anyone's game. But whose game is it really? Okay, so that's pretty much who they have favored to win. Listen, just because he's favored to win doesn't necessarily mean that he is going to win. I don't want to sit here and be a negative Nancy, but I'm one of those people that's like, man, it'd be great, but we don't necessarily know if it's going to happen or not. To be honest with you, because it's anyone's game, I really don't mind any of them winning. You know what I mean? Because all of these guys could potentially be first-time winners. Like Ricochet, I don't think Damian, Pete Dunne, I don't remember. The point is, they're all new. You know what I mean? So, like, if any one of them win, it'll be great. Like, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain for any one of them winning because I think that they all deserve it. You know what I mean? So, it makes me think of a lot of good things that are potentially going to happen in the near future with these guys. So, I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to see how it turns out. Our final top rumor, Johnny Gargano is teasing return on Monday Night Raw next week, and word persists that Tomasso Ciampa is planned to join up with the Way. So right off the bat, at least for me, it doesn't immediately seem like we're getting a DIY reunion. We're a soft one, but we're not getting like a true DIY, you know, team up again. It just seems like it's going to be The Way starring Tomasso Ciampa, you know what I mean? Not to say that he's not in the group. I'm saying, like, I don't think that they're going to specifically team up as DIY again. I think that they're all going to be a big stable, and it's, you know, it's going to be like The Fiend. Everybody's going to want DIY to come back, which is odd because of how much they hated Tomasso Ciampa for betraying Johnny Gargano. They hated the man so much he didn't have any entrance music. He just came out and everyone booed at him. Like, that is how much they truly hated this man. So, like, it's kind of awkward that everyone's like, yay! You know, it's like, well, hold on a minute. Wait, what happened, like, a couple years ago? Hold on a second. This is what we're getting for now. And then, you know, eventually down the line, they might do the thing where I don't know, it's the part with the big muscly guys, something, you know, really hard with their big hands, you know, so who knows? Maybe that's what we'll be getting in the near future. Moving over to our minor rumors, our first minor rumor, WWE claims there will be a total of 7 matches on the Money in the Bank card. I'm not really opposed to that. I'm not opposed to any pay-per-view having like less than 9 matches because that's a lot to sit through. Okay, the whole show goes on for like 3 hours. Now, if every single match is an absolute banger, then like there's nothing to really complain about. But like, you know, if it's like WrestleMania and there's like 12, 13 matches and the show goes on for like 5 hours, it's like, hooray, you know, it's like geez. Not much else to say about that. I'm glad it's 7 matches, and you know, it's probably not going to feel like a lengthy pay-per-view because of it. Moving over to our next minor rumor, PW Insider speculates WWE is done doing matches on the Kickoff show for premium live events. I don't know why. I don't necessarily see anything wrong with doing a Kickoff match. I will say this though. I specifically remember back in the day, like being like 4 years ago, where everyone and their grandmother got upset whenever somebody that they really liked was on the kickoff show. You know, they really didn't like that. They did not, because they would be very vocal, like, oh, so and so was a former champion and now he's on the pre-show. It's like, okay, yeah. I mean, okay, in Vince McMahon's world, yes, that was a downgrade. I would argue that in Triple H's world, because AEW, I mean, Daniel Bryan versus Minoru Suzuki, that was technically a pre-show match, and that was one of the greatest matches I think I've ever seen in my entire life. If you've seen the pre-shows, they do the thing, you know, that they do when you're watching basketball and football, where it's just everybody talking and giving their thoughts on, like, what the match should be like, and then they do the thing where it's like, you know, they run the packages and what have you, you know, about why they're fighting and stuff like that. So it's like, all right, you know what? If you're going to take a match out for the sake of context and commentary, it's like, all right, fine. You know, it's not really a big deal, you know, so I understand why they're doing it. Our next minor rumor, according to PW Insider, Kathy Carino, known widely as Alice in Danger, has been spotted at the WWE Performance Center, and the belief is she's working as a guest coach. So guest coach would imply that she's not going to stay there. It implies that she's going to be there, give some pointers, you know, maybe teach people how to do like an arm drag and a flat back bump, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, Auf Wiedersehen, you know? So, I mean, I don't necessarily know. Maybe the guest coach thing is just a placeholder, and I don't know, maybe if she like proves herself or she beats one of the challenges, then they put her on as like a regular coach. Yeah, I mean, she's definitely got wrestling in her blood, you know? So, if there's anybody that I would put as a guest coach, it would definitely be her. Our final minor rumor, per WrestleVotes, Samantha Irvin will be singing the national anthem prior to the Red Sox vs. Yankees game at Fenway Park on Sunday Night Baseball this coming weekend. Well, that's great. I definitely had to look her up. I know who she is. I'm that person who's like, I don't know who that person is, and then you look them up and you're like, oh, that guy, you know, it's Ricochet's girlfriend, for anybody who doesn't know. So, yeah, that's great. She's got a great voice. I'm sure she can, you know, belt out any, I don't know, key notes, I don't know, that anybody wants her to do, you know what I'm saying? There's not much to say about this. I don't watch baseball, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, go Red Sox. I went to a Red Sox, no, it was Blue Sox, never mind. Anyway, see, doesn't matter. So, yeah, not much to say. Shouts out to her, and, you know, hopefully it doesn't rain. What do we talk about? So, there was a segment, and Vince took it out, and then Triple H brought it back. I really like that. Oh man, does anybody remember that episode of the Pink Panther when they're like painting everything? My man is like painting stuff blue and Pink Panther's like painting everything pink, and like every time he like leaves he like paints it pink. That's what I'm thinking about right now. That's what it made me think of. Total of 7 matches. That's good. It's gonna be nice and compressed. You know, it's gonna be like a panini. You know what I'm saying? Like all flattened down. Everything's still in it. Nothing like fell out. If anything, everything's staying in a lot better. You know. So I'm not complaining about 7 matches, and hopefully you're not either. BetOnline has LA Knight favored to win. I mean, listen, just because I would love LA Knight to win. Again, I would love Santos, Pete Dunne. Like, it's anyone's game. It's anybody's game. And I'm very curious to see how they're going to, you know, work this into a storyline where hopefully someone who wins ends up becoming the next United States Intercontinental. Like, they're gonna become the next undisputed champion. Like, come on now. Anyway. So, or they could go against Seth. I don't really know. The point is, I'm very excited for this. Gargano's teasing a return on Monday Night Raw, and the way he could potentially be getting Tomasso. Again, man's betrayed you in a pretty heinous act, and I don't think anybody really forgave you for it. But you know what? To each their own, I suppose. Again, like I said, I don't think this is a true return of like DIY, but maybe this is just a soft reboot, and DIY is coming back in the near future. PW Insider speculates WWE's done doing matches on the kickoff show. That's fine. Again, in Vince McMahon's world, a kickoff match is bad. But if you told me about a kickoff match in Triple H's world, then I'd be like, great, I would love to see it, you know. So, I mean, at the end of the day, though, I'm not really complaining. You know, I understand why they're doing it. Kathy Carino, known widely as Alice in Danger, she's going to be working as a guest coach. Great. Again, I don't know if that means that she is going to be, I don't know if she's like potentially trying out to be a coach. I don't necessarily know. Again, you know, she's got the tenure, the experience, you know, she's been all over the place. So if she's going to be a coach, it's not like she lacks the experience. You know what I mean? And Samantha Irvin will be singing the national anthem. Great. I'm really happy for her. I love that. That potentially means that she's probably going to be singing at other places. Maybe she can have a singing career after the wrestling thing goes through. I didn't want to say like falls through, you know, like if she's just like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore or something like that, you know, I don't know. So, you know, really happy for her. Never watched baseball, but you know what? still, again, shouts out to her. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs. Big hugs all around.